Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a tag video, and this one was originally done by my friend Elise from Elise Cherie. I'm going to make sure to have a link down to her channel down below along with the original tag video that she created. She tagged me in this one, and while I don't often do tag videos, I went ahead and watched this one and fell in love with the idea of it. I thought it was just so cool, and it's sort of in tune with a new series that she's doing called Mumlife Raw, which I am all for, girl, because keeping it real as a mum is something that's so important, not just for yourself and so you don't overwhelm yourself, but also to support each other. If you're a mum out there, or if you're a nanny, or if you're just related to children in any way, if you have them in your life, you'll know that, you know, they can be demanding and they can take up a lot of your time. But when you have people around you who understand you and support you and are real with you and honest about the whole motherhood or parenting experience, that can make it so much easier. So when I saw this, I was like, hell yeah, I am so down to do this video. So let's jump straight into it. So the first question is, describe your day as a mum today in one word. Oh my gosh, it's so hard to think of one word. Chaotic? The second question is, what is the most challenging part about connecting with other mums? I think for this one, I'm gonna have a very similar answer to the answer that Elise came up with, and that is just, you know, keeping conversation and talking to other mums when you are out and about. I'm getting a lot better at this now, but when you're trying to have a conversation with someone and keep your eye on 3 little people at the same time, it can become difficult. And obviously your first priority is going to lie with keeping your children safe and keeping an eye on them. So maintaining conversation and remembering what you're up to in the conversation and furthering the conversation and just adding value to the conversation in general can become a little bit difficult. Question number 3 is, share one horrible poo moment. We've all been there. Yes, Elise, we have. Elise knows I've been there with this one, because there have been so many times when I've been on the phone to her and been like, hang on, I'll call you back. We've had a bit of a poo issue with Archie in particular. So those of you guys who don't follow the daily vlogs, there was a stage there where my middle child, Archie, he was learning to go to the toilet. It was like the transitional period between not wearing the nappies anymore and learning to use the toilet. And he was very grossed out by the whole poo situation, naturally, because it's pretty gross. And if he was doing his business, he would try and get his hands in there and get it out and then flick it everywhere. And it just, for me, I'm a clean freak. So if I would be, say, cleaning the bathrooms, for example, and like, you know, I'm coming out every couple of minutes to watch them, but they're so fast, and I come out and I straight away walking down the hall, I would get this whiff of poo and I'd be like, no, he's done it again, and come out and have to, you know, clean up this whole mess. Not nice. I'm trying to spare you guys the gory details, but I'm sure you guys get the gist. Number 4 is, how do you cope with public child meltdowns and tantrums? Okay, so this is kind of difficult because I have 3 children and each child is so different. Heidi was always one that while when she was a toddler and going through that public meltdown phase, I thought that she was hard to manage. She really wasn't. And a friend of mine said, you know, if she's doing that or she doesn't want to follow you, whatever, just go around the corner in the shopping center so you can see her, but she can't see you, and she'll pull herself into line pretty quickly. Like say, all right, you sit there, I'm leaving. Go around the corner, hide, and she'll be like, oh my God, my mum's leaving me, and run back to you. Sounds a little bit horrible, but it gets the job done. And I've never had a problem with her as an older child thinking that I'm gonna abandon her at any stage, so I don't think it's caused any abandonment type issues. With Archie, he is one that does not like to be in trouble. If you get mad at him, if you raise your voice at him, he just shuts off and his tantrum will get worse. There's no calming him down. So it's really about approaching him from another direction and saying, hey, like, you know, we're not gonna have that lolly today, but if you're a really good boy and we go home, why don't we have something else at home? So I feel bad using bribery with him, but once again, you gotta do what you've gotta do, and I don't wanna make him any worse when he is like that. Louis is still in that stage at the moment, and I'm trying to figure out what works with him. I've tried a few different things, but luckily we don't have too many meltdowns with Louis. There's only been once or twice where he's really lost it in a shopping center or out in public. Number 5 is, honestly, how much screen time does your child have? That's a tough one. Rarely Heidi is allowed to play with her iPad, which is just my iPad that I never really use anymore. And she really just likes to take selfies and things on it and go around the house and take pictures, which I'm kind of down with. I think it's really cool because I'll scroll back through all the pictures and see all this, like, the world through Heidi's eyes. I think that's pretty cool. But she rarely does have use of that. It's mainly the TV that my kids get. And I'm not gonna lie, they probably have about an hour in the morning after we've gotten completely ready and had our breakfast. I let them sit down for half an hour to an hour while I run around and get things done. Just have some quiet time. And then we use that again in sort of the evening as well. On the weekends, it's probably a little bit more, but we have to remember that I do try and do a lot of things in my day. Like I run this channel, I run our daily vlogging channel, neither of which I'm posting much on at the moment. We're still finding our feet with our routine, but I do a lot of work in the week, and sometimes I do need to use television just to get them to sit down quietly for half an hour to an hour. So all in all, we're probably having about 2 hours a day, I want to say. Number 6 is, what is your go-to easy dinner that you give at least once a week? I like to make spaghetti bolognese a lot because it's something that I have down on pat. I make very quickly. But in terms of like more a guilty meal, I would say tin spaghetti, because I know that my kids will eat it and eat it in a heartbeat. They love tin spaghetti. It's their favorite food. So on one of those nights where we're really, really busy, or we want to have a lazy dinner, usually it's like a Friday or a weekend night, we'll have some tin spaghetti, and sometimes we'll even give it to them for lunch as well, or on some toast for breakfast. So maybe not once a week, but we do use that as an easy meal fairly frequently with them. Number 7 is, did you yell, cry, or struggle today? Yep. I'm gonna be totally honest, you guys. I cried, I yelled, and I struggled today. This morning, I got really cross with the kids when we were getting ready to go to school because they were fighting in the car, and that's becoming a fairly frequent car occurrence. I don't know why they do it, because it's like, just don't touch each other. If you have that much of an issue with each other, you don't even have to talk to each other. Talk to me, do something else, anything else. Just don't fight in the car. So if you guys have any tips for me on how to stop that, then feel free to put those in the comments because I am all ears. I cried a little bit earlier because nothing was working out for me today. I was having issues with my laptop. I was having issues with this camera. I worked out and I was really tired and stressed out after that, and I was running behind on time. And while it wasn't a decent cry, like it wasn't like a pouring down dramatic cry, it was a little like a little baby cry, because I was just so frustrated and I was like, I just can't even right now. And struggling, I think struggling sort of goes with the territory when you're crying and when you're yelling. There was just a little bit of a struggle today, not huge, but there definitely was a struggle today. Number 8 is, what was the best moment of your day so far as a mum? Well, this morning when I went and dropped Archie off to kindergarten, we walked in because I like to go in and help him set up everything and make sure that he's settled before I leave. And as soon as we walked in, Archie was like, "Good morning, Mrs. Jenny. Good morning, Mrs. Borges." And he just sounded so sweet and his manners were just on point, and I was so proud of him, because even though Archie is just by nature a really sweet child when he wants to be, I know that we've really pushed using manners with the kids, and it's really nice to see that in that kind of environment. And both of those teachers turned around, they were like, "Oh, how lovely, good morning to you too, Archie." And it warmed my heart to see this sweet, kind-hearted little boy just off in his own world and being a little man. Number 9 is, what is your secret guilty pleasure to reward your mum life? I'm going to say watching things. I really like watching things on YouTube and really like watching things on my laptop. And usually when I'm running around the house doing chores and things like that, I like to have something on my laptop or have something playing off my phone. It just helps me get through the day and makes me feel like I am having a little bit of downtime, if that makes any sense whatsoever. It's sort of like, I don't know, it feels like I've got more time to chill and relax, even though I am using that time to do other things as well. Number 10 is, how often do you experience mum guilt? I'm gonna say I experience it multiple times a day, every single day. I think mums can be so hard on themselves, and I am no exception to that rule. I am constantly having that mum guilt, judging what I'm doing and wondering, you know, am I spending enough time with each child? Am I spending too much time yelling and not enough time like connecting with each child on a deep and meaningful level. Like, what can I do better as a mum? I feel bad if one of my children goes to school and they haven't got all the same treats in their lunch boxes what the other kids have. Or yesterday I felt bad because Archie came home and asked me if he could wear his kindy like uniform shirt, because every other day I like to dress him in like a nice spunky little shirt, and he just wanted to wear the like grotty old kindy shirts that they give to all of the students for free. And I was like, oh, well, you know, I wanted to dress you really nice and spunky all the time, but all you want to do is just wear the same shirt as everybody else, which for me is fine, but I felt really bad because I hadn't given him that. I felt really mean because he was wearing these other shirts while all the other kids were wearing their kindy shirts. So it's kind of ridiculous because obviously I put a lot of effort into dressing him nicely and I should not feel guilty about that, but that's mum guilt for you. You know, I went and saw that movie Bad Mums last year, and at the time I was like, yeah, this is like a dramatized version of what my life is. Like, my life can be, you know, pretty chaotic. This is obviously a movie, but you know, my life can be pretty chaotic. No, this year is just about that chaotic. Like, there are days where I'm driving around eating spaghetti in the car on the way to pick the kids up. I'm not even joking. That happened last week and I was like, my life is bad mums right now. Number 11 is share one taboo thing about motherhood that you think should be talked about more. Geez, where to start? Where to start? There are so many taboo motherhood things. I'm gonna say maybe disciplining, because there's so much judgment placed on the way that we discipline our children. And I know that I'm certainly guilty of that as well. Like, when you're walking through the shop and you see a mum like grab a child and be like, you are being naughty, or yelling at a child, or even smacking a child, and you place so much judgment on that parent. And especially when I was younger, I would be like, what are you doing? Why don't you just control your child? When I'm a mum, I am gonna make sure that my child never does that. My child is never gonna be the one that's screaming in the shopping center. Even when I talk about it now, I feel like I should almost censor what I'm saying, because you never know what people are gonna say in the comments. But I feel like we just need to back off a little bit, judge each other less, and talk about ways that we each discipline our children, being realistic. Like, none of this, I come down to their level and they listen every time, because that isn't the case for every child. Every child is different, and by sharing more about how we work with our children and engage with our children when they're not being their best selves, then maybe we can help each other and help each other find coping strategies. All right, so that wraps up the hashtag Mumlife Raw tag. Thanks so much to Elise for creating it. It was really, really fun to do, and I think it's such a great idea for, you know, just sharing what real motherhood is actually like. I'm gonna go ahead and tag Olivia from Olivia White and Tian from A Mother's Open Book. But if you guys wanna do the tag as well, then by all means feel free to, and make sure to let Elise and I know if you do it so we can go ahead and watch it. I also want to quickly apologize for being a little bit MIA on this channel, and especially on my daily vlogging channel in the last few days. I think I mentioned a couple of weeks ago that James broke our vlogging camera and we're still in the process of getting it repaired. It was pretty broken, and I'm just in the process of really finding my feet with this whole school mum thing. I am getting there, and I am getting there in terms of, you know, making sure I'm doing my fair share of housework in this house. But I have been working on a whole new YouTube schedule, and I think you guys are going to be happy with it. I'm ready to start it in a couple of weeks time, so bear with me in the meantime. And if you want to follow me on my other social media accounts, I have Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, and Pinterest. As per usual, I'm gonna have all of the links to those down below. Make sure to hit subscribe if you like these videos and you want to see more of them. And make sure to give this video a huge thumbs up if you like the, you know, hashtag mum lifestyle videos. I'm more than happy to do more of them because I myself just love watching them and love doing them. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys all next time. Bye.